Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Krishiarts. Today I'm going to try to teach you how to draw rose using charcoal powder, but instead of using a white paper, I'm going to use this Strathmore toned grey. These were some of my previous drawings that you already might have watched the videos. So I'm going to use the same paper. So these are all my previous drawings. Okay. Let's go get a new paper here. So I'm going to draw this rose right here. So as we always do, I'm going to sketch it out first. As I always tell you, the sketching part should be really towards the lighter side of the spectrum, so you can erase those extra lines that you don't want to be seen. So once you get the shape properly, you can just erase those extra lines. So today I'm going to use this charcoal pencil, the blender, white highlighter, I don't know how far it's going to work, white pencil, chalk paste, and some charcoal powder. Let's see. So again I'm trying to lay out the darker shades first. I'm not pressing too hard on those dark lines right here, because I don't want to leave any marks out there. I want to gently let this charcoal lay on the paper, then I can slowly pull it down with the paper stump. Okay. I'm using the same technique over and over here again. I'm just putting the charcoal gently on the paper and just pulling it down towards the lighter areas. So drawing on the gray tone paper is going to be fun, because you can always make those highlights pop out really well. So I'm in no rush to fill it out completely with charcoal. I'm just drawing small lines here gently and then trying to blend it with this blender. You will definitely don't go wrong here. Just be confident and keep practicing this way. You will definitely be able to do better. So instead of filling the whole thing with the pencil, I'm just trying to do the dark spots right here, and I'm only filling the dark spots. That too, I'm not pressing it too much on the paper. I'm just gently filling the layers. See? One layer at a time, layer after layer, until you get the required shade out there. So don't be in a hurry to fill it up again. Just gently keep on filling the layers and blend it. Always try to sketch the drawing that you want to draw. Have a game plan, how far you want to draw, how much you want to draw, how big you want to draw, and try to sketch it out gently with a graphite pencil would usually be okay. You don't have to use a charcoal pencil to sketch it out, but make sure you don't draw it too dark, because graphite and charcoal don't mix up pretty well. If you did sketch darker using a graphite pencil, you may not be able to draw over it with a charcoal pencil. So always be careful there. See, this petal, I'm not going to use the charcoal on it. I'm just going to spread the charcoal that is left over on this. Like that. So this. You already got the inside of the rose flower very well. So I'm not putting a lot of charcoal here. Just gently. This is a writing grip. This is a sketching grip or a drawing grip. But for shading, I try to go a little bit further beyond and hold it loose, like I'm not holding it too tight to push on the paper, but I'm just holding it too loose and gently filling it up. This is the inside of the petal, that's why I had to put some charcoal in there. So technically there is no reflection there. No light on there. So it should be a little bit darker, not really light. But the outside of this petal must be lighter because the light is on it. So I'm trying to do this part right here. So this part, the light is falling from here. So this is like, it's like a 3D. So this part is a little bit darker, but the outside of it is not so dark. So it definitely has the reflection. The highlighted areas shows that there is light passing there. And I'm going to pull this right here, this part of the gray. I'm using the middle part of the spectrum, not too dark, not too light. So just mark those areas which one has to be lighter, which one has to be darker. That will make it easy for you guys. I'm going to make these light areas much lighter using the those chalk pencils or white highlighters. But just for now, to begin with, just keep on adding the charcoal. You see the difference if you put this pencil very gently and you blend it using this blender, you will leave no marks right there. It appears to be really smooth. But if you really press hard with the pencil and you try to blend, you will still see those lines, and that definitely that don't look good. So I'm drawing the darker shade here because the light is not passing through here. So definitely the shadow you see here that, and start blending. And even every time I try to tell you, don't blend too much. Like, do not press the paper stump hard on the paper. You don't really need it. All you got to do is gently spread the charcoal away. So these small circular motions are good enough for you to get the required shade right there. So this thing again comes with practice. You may not get it right away, but don't ever worry about that. That should be your least concern. Just keep practicing and you will definitely get it. This part is a little bit darker again. That shows the deeper part of the flower, and the light is not passing there, so I'm trying to do it a little bit darker. See that? Very gentle. I'm not pressing it too hard. As you can see, the flower is slowly taking its shape. So this is the top portion of the petal. So it's not totally dark, not totally light. So gently putting some charcoal in there. I'm sure going to add some highlights over there using the white pencil or marker. I'll show you how. You can also use the charcoal powder with this brush. It will be the same technique, but make sure You keep on doing these circles, spread the charcoal evenly to get that smooth appearance. You may not get these kind of drawings the same way like if you do it on a printer paper, because that's definitely not a drawing paper out there. So you need to buy the drawing papers for your artwork to be more prettier. Printer papers are not made for drawing. Okay, now you want to see this. I'm going to take a white pencil here. I want to add the highlights. You'll be surprised. This is where I like these gray tone papers. These highlights are really going to pop up really good. I mean, definitely will take the art, this drawing, to a different level. See this? See these white lines I am drawing here are the reflections of the light. It is actually the light is passing through here, so they definitely do appear lighter compared to the other parts. As you can see, this part is really light, so I'm just focusing on that area right now. So again, even with this white pencils, don't press too hard on the paper. The clue, the main pro technique tip is just to keep on building the layers. So gently use the circular motions or small up, like this. This kind of motions will definitely help put more pencil, graphite or charcoal, whichever pencil you are using. This technique definitely helps. You see how it is turning out? That's why I really like this gray tone paper. You can really make wonders here. Let's see this white marker. It makes it further brighter. See this? It's like if you want to really add more light to this flower. So this will really pop up the whole drawing and take it to a whole new level. You will be definitely satisfied with the outcome if you start practicing on this gray tone paper. See this? So let me add more charcoal to more petals, and then we can slowly use the highlighters later. I'm working on this part right here. So this petal, this goes down like this, and this part of the same petal is behind the outer petal. So I'm going to draw the shade first. As you can see, this part of the flower is still gray, but the shadow is much darker. I'll go through that spectrum of shading again. You will see clear differences here. I'm going to explain you. So I take this. First try to blend this shading that you just did. Yeah, here I want to tell you, do not, once you put in the highlighters, don't take the blender with charcoal and draw on it, because it is definitely going to mess it up. So the highlighters should be, they are very tempting, but make sure that should be done in the last, because you don't want to blend on top of that again, because trust me, it will mess it up big time. I did mess it up a lot of things like that, because I really got tempted that I wanted to add those highlights. So here, now you can see this part is like the end of the spectrum where it is like really dark, because light is not at all going there. And you can see the next layer is darker but not darkest, and that's how we slowly decrease the intensity of dark shades, and eventually that should become lighter and lightest here. But like the deep parts where the light is not going, it should be the darkest. So I'm just pulling the charcoal out towards the lighter part. I'm trying not to put more charcoal here with the pencil, but instead I'm doing it with the blender. I'm just pulling the charcoal out from here. And we do have the same spectrum here, from dark to light. So I'm going to repeat the same thing here. Make sure you don't press too hard on it. Gently put the charcoal and again repeat. Take the blender, gently press on the charcoal that you just put in and pull the charcoal out. So this will clearly tell us, like this part, this shadow and this shadow is behind something. This part is exposed to light. But you see these highlights, that we can do it later. As I said, we will do those highlights at the end, because we don't want to mess this thing up. So this is going to be very, very light. So I'm just using the blender to put the remaining charcoal on the blender itself. I'm not drawing this part really, because that has to be really light. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make this really light using the highlighter. As you can see, the veins on the petal. Try to observe, keenly anything you want to draw. try to observe that first. You need to know what exactly is in there. The way you can actually add those details. Oh, I forgot to show you, this is the chalk piece. This just like chalk, white charcoal. You take this, put some and try to blend it. White chalk piece mixes very well with charcoal pencil. I'm gonna use the same white charcoal to add some light here, some kind of highlight, and blend it. Don't blend it too hard again, because it is easily going to mix up with charcoal and you don't see anything out there. See that? Again, this part right here, I'm not putting the white highlights here, just trying to remind you guys. This, I'm just trying to bring more light to the petals, so it's more like lightest possible gray. I'm going to add the highlights later. See this? So I'm going to add the same thing again here, here, and here, wherever the light is reaching out. You can just blend it there. Don't press too hard on this chalk piece. See that? And now I'm trying to add this one right here. The last petal, the outermost petal. And that is extending all the way out here. And that is exposed to light. So we are not going to add too much charcoal to that, but instead we will just pull it from already used places. You don't have to really put any charcoal right there. I easily used from this part right here, but you see the difference. It's really dark inside, like where the actual shadow is. You can readjust there. You can readjust the spectrum right there, the shadows. Just follow the direction of the shadow. Now that I got here until here, I'm going to use my white marker. My marker. I'm going to add some light shades right here, and I'm going to make this more darker. More brighter, because as you can see, this part of the flower is getting more light than rest of it. this part right here too. Okay, and I want to use some charcoal right here. So that's how you get to do this part. I'm taking this pencil because this is not so bright white like the marker. So I'm just spreading these highlights around. That way it don't appear to be artificial. I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. I don't want my art videos to be time-lapse because you'll not get to learn much with the time-lapse videos other than just enjoying the process. But if I put this in real time, that's when you'll actually be able to understand what's going on exactly. So leave in comments if you guys want me to draw real-time videos or you want me to put time-lapse videos. So this is the flower part. So same like that, you can just see this. The technique will be the same. Use the outer layers. See, this outer layer is darker compared to the inner layer. So just put some dark layers out there and try to pull the charcoal in. You don't have to work too hard on this. As much as you get the concept, just use the same concept everywhere you go. Same goes here. I'm just putting the charcoal on the outside wherever it's too dark, and let's try to pull the charcoal in. Again, because you see this really light, you can add the highlights using the white chalk pencil. You can even put the highlights with the white marker. Oh, there are a couple of more here. So this side is a little bit darker because the light is actually not going to it. So I'm going to make it darkest of all, but still leave the tip light. And not to worry about this one because that looks like really light out here. That's how you draw the rose flower. And continue drawing the rest of the flower. I'm just going to put it in a time lapse So I'm going to use the same concept, so putting in darker shades of charcoal, pulling it with the blender and adding the highlights. So thank you so much for watching this, and please subscribe.